Picture this, two guys trapped in the South Charleston Public Library. One guy loves movies, the other, well, he'd rather be watching reality TV. Can they survive each other's films? Find out on Real Opposites, a library podcast about movies, hosted by Josh and Aaron from the South Charleston Public Library.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Real Opposites. I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
And we're back to discuss the movies we chose last time, Buffy and A Clockwork Orange.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sorry.
1992.
Yes.
Parentheses.
This is true.
Not the television show.
No, but I would love if we did that. That's great.
Well, you get your own television show podcast.
What if we just, for like a couple months, we just watch the TV show and...
No, that's a separate podcast.
Okay.
I've been watching it, though.
We need a spinoff, and it's a TV podcast. I would love that.
What, you and Travis talking about
Survivor?
Survivor.
Does Travis like Buffy?
I don't know, but he likes Survivor.
All
Anyways, but that's not what this podcast is about.
That's not what this podcast is about.
So we're going to jump into the movies, and I think... Are we starting with Clockwork Orange?
I think so.
Okay. So, give us a little spiel.
Give you a little spiel. So I first saw Clockwork Orange. I'd seen like The Shining, of course, or like Kubrick movies. And I think I'd seen 2001 at this point, like recently. But it was like in 1998, the AFI did the top 100 American films of all time. I don't remember what rank it was, but Clockwork Orange was on there. That was when I really got into like watching a lot of classic films. And my video store didn't have it. Bub, the guy that ran the video store down the street. He's a really sweet, heavyset guy. Bub. Perfect name. I don't know if he's still around. He didn't have it. And he also wouldn't sell me his copy of The Shining. So I remember going to Camelot Music up in Nitro, next to the Walmart. It used to be a Camelot Music there. It was a gym at one point. I don't know what the hell it is now. Anyway, and paying full price for a Clockwork Orange. Mm-hmm. And I vividly remember like the image on the back of the case was the woman that Alex rapes in the movie. Mm-hmm. And the poster art is very like, I can't figure out what's going on really. Like I see the face and the eye. Like, is that eye on there? Is that like a real eye that's like falling off his wrist or like what? Anyway.
Yeah.
So I watched it, and I was just floored. It was one of the first movies that really knocked me for a loop, I think. I was really... Because I'd never seen anything like that was that clever and funny and violent. But, I mean, it's, and thoughtful and, like, really asking a lot of the audience. Mm-hmm. And also just beautiful and still very timely and still very, like, relevant. In 1998, 99, whenever I watched it, and now. So it sits happily in my top 100. Yeah. And I think it's just a tour de force. There's nothing I would change about the movie. The way he uses violence, is like, it's the most beautiful violence ever on screen, It's a symphony. But what really struck me this last time watching it was that all the stuff with the politician was a little bit more, because it's been a few years since I've watched it. Yeah. And with the minister or whatever was very like, oh, okay. See, like that, I don't know, that hit me a little bit more this time.
Right.
But the whole movie's, I think it's just an amazing film. The language. I don't know if you've read the book too.
I have not.
They're very close. Like I remember reading the book not long after I'd seen the movie, and I just remember it being like really close to the book. Yeah. It's one of those, because it's Kubrick, I think every single film he made was an adaptation of a book. Oh. And in all the others, he diverged quite a bit from the source material. Mm-hmm. Most notably, The Shining. Or most famously, The Shining. Which, the reason why there was that beef between Kubrick and Stephen King?
Because he changed it.
No, it's because Kubrick was like, the book's not very good.
Oh.
And
I prefer the book over the movie.
Yeah, no, I'll take the movie.
Yeah, I like the book. I'm not saying the movie isn't.
But anyway, that's The Shining. We'll get to that at some point. Yeah. I love this film. I think it's one of the greatest films ever made. And yeah, I adore this film.
All right.
So what did you think?
Well, it's the
Aaron?
second Kubrick movie I've seen, I guess, because I have seen The Shining.
Mhm.
And I mean, I think the story of this movie is something that will probably stay relevant. Just you have people that are out there doing whatever and then trying to reform them in different ways. And I mean, it can be applied in all kinds of different ways, especially that the type of reform they try to do just ends up being worse than it.
Yeah, it makes him inhuman.
Yeah,
Like
it just is worse. And I think there's times through history and probably even right now that you could relate to that part. Just like people trying to fix people, but in horrible ways.
Well, and it's a matter like the state taking control of the individual and robbing them of their individuality, their ability to feel.
Yeah.
To like, because everyone has to have a choice.
Right.
To be violent or be kind or, you know.
And they address that at one point in the movie after he is reformed or whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody says that like, okay,
It's
but he didn't have a choice.
The priest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the priest is like, yeah, that's more or less that's what he says. This is inhuman. This is not.
Yeah.
This is perverted or something like
Right.
that, you know.
Yeah, I guess, well, for any of you that haven't seen the movie, I mean, the basic story of it is that they're like criminals. And he ends up going to jail, and then they do this new program of trying to reform somebody by training them through showing them films, and it makes him sick. So when he tries to do violence or anything like that afterwards, he gets actually physically sick.
Yeah, and he can't react to someone hitting him. He can't.
Right.
I mean, apparently he wouldn't even be able to have sex. 'Cause
Right.
The sight of a naked woman makes him sick. Like, so he is. That's not a life. He's
right.
You know, he's nothing. And I love like how they use something that means a lot to him,
Right.
Beethoven,
Mm-hmm.
and to pervert that, manipulate that into the thing that dehumanizes him.
Yeah, he can't even hear that.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it's a certain one from Beethoven.
Yeah, it's the ninth.
The ninth that he can't listen to.
Yeah.
And in fact, he tries to jump out of a window to end it because they're playing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the movie.
Watching it. So also the author, who Alex and his droogs, which I mean, the droogs, like, I think this is the best portrayal of juvenile delinquency in any film. I mean, you just look at what's going on now. It's like, you know, these like flash mobs that just
right.
You know, like come into places, rob them, tear everything up. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah. That's what I say. It's still relatable.
Yeah.
today.
I mean, it's still like there's like it's. I mean, 100 years from now, there's still going to be that issue.
Well,
like it's still going to be.
When you get young people engaging in ultraviolence, their like sense of empathy and like humanity isn't yet developed.
Right.
I mean, they talk. I think it's in Blood Diamond. There's a famous scene where like. You know, like several times they're confronted with guns, and when it's adults, he's like, you know, I can't think of the actor right now, is willing to like be, you know, a little more confrontational. But once kids, he's just like do whatever they want because like they haven't
developed.
They haven't developed enough to like. Obviously, in A Clockwork Orange, it is super heinous. Like I have trouble watching like the acts of violence, but it's like they have been failed, and they haven't developed that sense of like, oh, this is real.
Right.
Like I'm doing this to another human. They don't know how to see another human yet, and it's like So I think like that's why you get like young people, especially, are prone to engaging in that sort of delinquency. They're prone to violent delinquency. Like that's, you know, they don't realize that getting in a fight on like concrete can kill you. And like those kind of, like they just haven't got there yet. They don't know.
Yeah.
The film is somewhat autobiographical for Anthony Burgess, the author.
Oh, okay.
The author in the story, whose wife is raped and later dies, comes to her injuries. Kind of happened. Like he was an author. His wife was, I can't remember if she died or not, but she was assaulted, and I think his child was too, if I remember.
Oh wow!
But so I mean, he put it's him, and at the time he wrote it, he had, I believe, a brain tumor, and so he wrote like 4 books, like back to back to back, because he thought he was going to die. So he wanted to leave I guess they did live. So he wanted to leave his family money. So I think he just poured a lot into to this story in particular. Yeah, I mean the violence is it's hard, but it's so and I think it's so theatrical and almost detached. Like it's beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
In a way, and it's entertaining. Yeah. Like you can't help but like Alex is so like he's a bastard, but he makes no apologies for who he is.
Right.
And that's commendable.
Well, it's a great example of like a villain protagonist, right? That doesn't usually happen. You don't usually like he's not an anti-hero, like you can't give him that title, but he's a villain protagonist. So you get like you can empathize with him, and you should be able to if you have someone in a lead role that is capable of heinous, horrific violence. Like you should be able to be like be able to see all sides. But yeah.
Well, then they make you like, you know, the first 30 minutes is just him murdering and raping, and
yeah, they make you hate
yeah,
him.
and then but to be able to then, you know, hour and a half into the movie, you're like he's getting, you know, dehumanized and going through this process.
And you kind of feel bad for him.
And it's like, yeah, because it's hard to watch that as bad as much as
the rest is bad. Yeah.
And, you know, when you have the cops in the room, they're interrogating him. They're, you know, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But you still end up feeling for him. And I think that it's like, I mean, like Malcolm McDowell is one of the best performances in any movie. Like it's one of the all-time great performances, I think. It's just perfect marriage.
Yeah.
Of character and actor.
For many years, he had a strong, like, didn't want to talk about the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely changed in the last like 10 or 20 years, but like, I think he was so associated with the movie. I mean, it was like, because it was only his third or fourth film. And he was pretty young. I mean, he was in his early 20s. Yeah. And I think for a long time, he was just like, that's the kind of role he ended up getting. He didn't get like romantic leads, and he ended up getting kind of like dark, tortured kind of characters, you know, even played Caligula famously in the terrible, which they're doing a recut of that, supposedly, that's going to like make it better. But anyway. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, I thought his performance was good.
It's just one of these guys, like, you can't not look at him. You can't not.
He commands your attention. Yeah.
In every frame.
I agree. And I mean, like I said, I definitely understand the story, and I like where they're going with the story. But I will say, Here we go. I mean, I'm glad I watched it in the sense that it is a classic. A lot of people talk about it, and you see stuff about it often. I've always seen stuff about it.
Yeah, it's heavily referenced. A lot of, The Simpsons, for instance.
Yeah. But, not my favorite movie. Not my favorite movie. One thing is, I feel like, and I say this about a lot of movies, but I feel like it's so over-sexualized that there's the assault and stuff. That's clearly what is happening, and that's different. But it's just like everyone's statues in their homes and the paintings on the walls.
I think we can actively say the word rape in this case. Like it's not.
I already did.
Yeah, it's not.
No,
it's
yeah.
not just
No,
assault.
No, but I mean, I think that's a point. Is that there's paintings of nude men and women in everyone's homes and in the milk bar and everything. And it's like that's the point in the future where they've reached where it's just
normal.
It's just normal. And generally in Europe, like that, it's like they don't have this puritanical attitude towards the human body and sex that we do in America.
Yeah.
So I mean, like in their rating system, like they'll allow nudity.
Right.
It's the violence that they're more concerned about, but rightfully so. It's the human body. Like everyone's got the equipment. Like everyone's.
I get that. It's just, I don't know.
And I mean, I think in this, like, I mean, everything is completely justified.
Right.
Like,
I think for me, it was just the fact that it's everywhere constantly, plus the rape and
there's some level that I think is meant to signal, wow, yes, in Europe, like we don't really consider that, like is meant to be like, oh, if you objectify something enough, then they're no longer human, and that allows people to commit and I don't mean like showing nudity does not necessarily objectify someone, but if you are using that to objectify someone, in a young mind like this, it makes it easier to commit acts of violence against them because it's like, that's not a person. That's an object that I can have.
Right. And I mean, and I get it. I know why it was being used and everything like that. It was too cringy for me for some reason. I don't know.
Just don't like to see the butt cracks up on screen.
I guess that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It didn't feel like it was forever long, so I didn't hate it, I guess.
That's good. That's what I was concerned about. Because there's a lot of like long, unbroken takes.
Yeah.
Which I love.
But
there's always business going on.
There's something going on at all times.
There's movement. There's like you get caught up in what they're in the dialogue.
Yeah.
In their interactions. And he, frames it in such a way. Like the first, because it's been a few years since I've watched it. And I was like, damn, I forgot. Like the first 30 minutes is like unrelenting.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like for some reason, I remember there being a little bit more of a build up to it, but it's just.
And that might be part of it too.
That's on. That's on purpose. It's like it's supposed to just get you in and be like, hit you over the head.
It shocks you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
and that could have been some of it. It was just so much shock for me.
Yeah.
That it just kind of took me out of it a little bit.
And then once he murders the cat lady and he gets captured and is in prison and it really the pace changes and it.
But it fits what's going on at that time.
Yeah, no, it's seamless, but it's natural like progression from Act 1 to Act 2.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I love. I just want to mention like the supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
I love like the guy, and he's only in 2 scenes. Like Mr. Deltoid, the guy who after he gets up the night after, not the night they kill the cat lady, but the first night,
and
he's like talking to Alex in his bed.
Oh yes,
and he drinks the false teeth glass of water. That's great. He's so good. I forget his name. Deltoid. Oh, Aubrey Morris. And
he's kind of like he's their lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean he's like the parole officer almost for Alex because clearly he's been in this situation before, and his parents are just they are. I think this is very relevant. They just like do whatever he says. Like they're like his mom's like get up, go to school, and he's like no, go up my beddy, and all this crap he's just making up, and she's like okay, there's no structure, there's no,
and I think that's very relatable today.
Yeah, and I just want to mention before we go on the guy that plays the like prison guard.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a great actor. He's so like that is such a boring like character in a lot of ways, but he makes it so commanding.
Yeah,
I always love like that close up when they're testing out the method on the stage in front of the minister and everybody, and the woman comes out, and then like that wasn't planned. His reaction, like he wasn't supposed to be in that scene, but I can't remember if it was Kubrick or McDowell was like he should be in this scene, and they cut to that close up of him going.
Yeah,
it's so funny. That's what I mean. Like, there's so much. There's still levity and humor that naturally comes out of the characters and who they are.
Right.
The tagline for this film kills me. I think it's hilarious because it's so like blasé. Like, did you see it? Being the adventures of a young man who couldn't resist pretty girls or a bit of the old ultraviolence, went to jail, was reconditioned, and came out a different young man. Where was he? And it's just like.
I mean, that kind of sums it up real quick.
Like, sums up the movie.
It does, but it's also like very like, oh, cheerio.
A little kind of happy-ish.
It's a little too chipper, I think. Yeah. I feel like you read that tagline and you were not expecting the first 30 minutes of this movie.
Like, I think that's good.
And that's probably on purpose.
Well, what did you think of the ending?
Let's see. He jumps out the window. He's in the hospital. What's the ending?
Well, like he's in the hospital.
I watched this like a week and a half ago and have been sick since then.
He's in the hospital and forget the minister. I don't think he's the prime minister. But anyway, he comes in and they're talking about, basically he's manipulating Alex into being like a show pony for the state, that this doesn't work, that this was a terrible thing. Yeah. Like that it shouldn't have happened, this process he was being put under. And then they bring in the giant speakers and they're playing the ninth.
Mm-hmm.
And all the cameras come in, and then it kind of cuts to Alex's face, like a close up, and that look in his eye when he hears the ninth.
Yeah,
from like earlier is back. Like he's cured.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I mean, it was good. I mean, I liked it. I remember like I said, I'm just having trouble remembering it, but somebody cured him and somebody didn't like that. And they're coming to also try to use that to their advantage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, he is so dehumanized that it is all about what other people want to use him for.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a human being at this point.
Right. And I liked that it showed that because, during the part where they're showing his testing and stuff, and the priest is basically like, this is wrong, he's inhuman, he doesn't have choice, but then he turns around and does the same thing to him, basically wanting to use him.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're using him one way or the other.
Right, that's what I'm...
They're taking his ability to his choice away in a lot of ways.
And then it was
they're
just
they're at least giving him the like illusion of choice at the end.
Right.
So that ending.
Mm-hmm.
So in the book, there's two versions. There's the American version and the European version
of the movie.
In the book.
Oh,
both.
The American version of the book. The European version has one extra chapter. This was a Burgess's original treatment, where it cuts to, I don't know, 10 or 20 years later, or maybe it's 20. I don't know. He's an old man. Alex is an old man, and he has like grandkids and stuff. And he's like, it kind of like, I never really liked that because it kind of undercut the whole point of the story,
right?
I thought, and it was like too much of like a happy ending kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Kubrick didn't read that version. He read the American version, which the publisher was like, that chapter sucks. We're ending it right here.
Yeah.
So that's the version Kubrick saw, and that's the version he liked, and that's what he filmed.
Oh, okay.
And so for that reason, the movie is better than the book, like for me, like the original version, because I think like ending on him finding his humanity again, as terrible as that is,
right?
Poorly wired as his brain is,
yeah,
that's who he is,
right?
And I just love that ending, and then it ends with him and the woman in the like in a wedding ceremony on the floor. It's a great. I always forget about that as the last scene, like the last shot of the movie.
Yeah,
I was thinking of the smile.
When we discussed this in school, like the books, it's like the American ending feels like the natural conclusion for the book. But then we talked about like what kind of Burgess himself was working through. A lot of times you can't help but your life and like affecting this, and so he's dealing with this person who did these horrible things to my family. Is reform possible, or are they always rotten?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like there was some part of his like humanity of wanting to believe the best in people went out, and that's how the last chapter happened.
Yeah.
But whereas he didn't want to be like, just this person is always like he wanted to think that it could be something better, but that's. And I don't think that's always the case.
Yeah.
Advocates is like the system fails people, but under the current system, and he's saying under the current system, but also under this futuristic system he's imagining, reform isn't possible.
Right.
And it's like, so like, how do you I think
it's
individuals?
It's like dehumanizing isn't a process of reform,
which is like how
what we do.
Modern prisons work.
Yeah. I mean, we don't try to get actual therapy for people or or mental health. It's
prisons and camps.
Yeah, it's cold concrete and prison bars.
Alex clearly, like, not to speculate on his mental health, but clearly has something mentally wrong, and so he needs a therapist and a medical team.
Oh yeah,
not a
yeah for sure.
Because it's it's like when he's when they're interrogating him and it's like they're beating him and stuff. It's like that doesn't faze him. He's just still He likes it. Just keep doing it.
Right.
There's just something wired wrong. And I love that they filmed a lot of this in this. I forget the name of it. Like the concrete, like where he lives. Mm-hmm. That was like a failed, like low income housing kind of experiment.
Oh, okay.
In England. So it's like really quite appropriate that that's where he lives. Like that's the state of.
It really works.
Yeah, and that's the state of like where society is at this point, which is never really like said. Like what time it is, I think that's important that it's just in this alternate reality where
and when you make a movie like that, that helps it stay relatable as well.
Yeah, because it's like, well, of course there's like records and CRT TVs and like all this kind of stuff, but it's like it's easier to just say, well, that's just part of the when the movie was made than
Right.
like, you know, oh, this is supposed to be 2014 and they're still using this or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I mean, do you have like a favorite moment or scene or something that spoke to you personally?
I mean, I really like the whole reform part. I don't want to say enjoyed, but the whole them actually doing it to him, holding his eyelids open, showing him the movies, and because like I said, I think that's one part that really spoke to me about even our society now, how we try to control who people are, and you know, we're making all these laws and things about who somebody can be and what somebody can do with their own body, and to me, that's kind of what that hit on.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of like a little bit of a stretch, but not really, because they're taking somebody that they don't like how they are and doing these horrible things to to reform him.
Yeah.
But also just the way that part of the movie looked, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I thought it was shot really nicely.
Oh, yeah,
Just
it's
really
gorgeous.
put you in his shoes almost. That's when you kind of really start feeling for him, I felt.
When you watch the movie again, you'll constantly notice the circular motion of a lot of the shots.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the prison where all the like their exercise is just walking in a circle in a concrete with the concrete walls on all sides.
Yeah.
And then they're walking in a circle in the record shop, and there's always this kind of subconsciously he does that in The Shining a lot too. Like if you notice, there's exit signs everywhere and when you get to the point in the movie where it's hit the fan and they can't get out, and all the blocking and all the shots, their heads are blocking the exit signs.
Oh.
Like it's kind of like, maybe that was planned, maybe it's not. I think it probably was.
I
But it's
feel
like,
like it probably
he's
was.
so meticulous that's probably, I'll just call it the torture sequence where they're manipulating Alex and his eyelids that's all real. That was a real doctor doing that. Like
Cornea.
putting the eye drops. He did scratch his cornea too at one
Oh,
point.
wow.
But that's always like, oh, it's
And
so hard.
fractured ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fractured ribs. That's always hard for me to watch just because as his eyes start watering and the water, like the eye stuff is like we were talking last time, I think, of the nails.
Yeah. Nails get me.
That's one of the eye things, and I'm just like, ugh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because like you can see like just the giant metal clasps.
Yeah.
Are just holding.
Well, that's what it was for me. Was not only was it kind of the turning point where you started really feeling for him, and then also just stuff that really sparked our nowadays reality as well for me, but also just like the trauma of it, like watching him, and you really that's what I said, it almost puts you in his shoes because you feel that, like
I mean,
what's being done to him, you can feel it.
Well, and there's some symmetry there, right? Like being forced to watch something that destroys you, and like
That's
there's some like level of like that's
what we're doing with the first 30 minutes of the movie,
right?
In some way.
Like being forced to, there's that, and then there's
That's
like
true.
what he does to the man and makes him watch as they like gang rape his wife.
Yeah,
The idea of like being forced to endure something that traumatizes you.
yeah.
Like being forced to undergo trauma doesn't help anybody ever,
Right.
and like that's what's happening to to him, as he's like being forced to undergo conditioning that is going to cause him to act contrary to himself, and like while himself is not good and needs to be away from people, that's not how you fix that.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it is like how they all this horrible footage.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of Nazi footage.
Yeah, they do.
And
Yeah,
what
the
they
idea,
show
like,
him,
why
but
can't
it's
we
set
just
to
do,
it's set to Beethoven, like the most angelic, beautiful music.
Right.
Just as the first 30 minutes is set to, a lot of Beethoven and Rossini, I think. So it's all this violence set to Singing in the Rain.
Right.
Happy song.
Yep.
Oof.
And which that was all like spontaneous. Like
That was unscripted.
Yeah, they had been doing it. I don't know how many takes. Kubrick did a lot of takes, and they were just like, it's not working.
Yeah.
And Kubrick, one of the things he told Malcolm, I was listening to the commentary with Malcolm McDowell last night, and Kubrick was famous for like, I don't know what I want. I know what I don't want when I see it.
Yeah.
So he would do a lot of takes, and it's at some point he reaches a point where during like the last scene in particular, the last shot with Alex in bed, the smile, like he wasn't getting there, so they just did a bunch of takes, and then when he starts feeding him, and he goes,
Yeah.
It just started getting silly, and then it started to like come alive. And the same thing with like the rape sequences. You know, the singing in the rain was just that he just spontaneously like started doing that. Like he was like Kubrick was like, "Can you sing? Can you dance?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he just I don't know, Singing in the Rain popped in his head.
Right.
And Kubrick went to like the producer and was like, "Can we clear it?" And
yeah, they had to pay like
so much to
$10,000.
Yeah,
which comes to about $76,500 in 2022, adjusted for inflation.
Yeah,
to put this random song in.
It's so worth it, though. That is.
Oh yeah,
well, yeah. I mean,
and they end up using it in the end too. That's when the writer realizes who
when
that
he's
is.
in the bath,
because he's in the bath and he starts singing that.
It's chilling and horrific, and it's so like.
It is.
That's what the movie does. Like, it's taking beautiful things and stripping them of their beauty and just making it difficult to watch.
And that's what I say.
That's what they do to him. They take a beautiful, like he's not beautiful, but they take something. They're stripping him
for sure
of the possibility that he has to be a positive influence in the world.
Right. You know? And that's what I say. Like, you know, the way things are shot in this movie are really well done, and some of the ideas that they did and using the music like that. I mean, that's all great. It just, for me, didn't hit to like something I fully enjoyed.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know that I'll ever watch it again, but I've seen it. It's one of those, like,
it's one of those you have
I've
to see
seen it
before you die.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
like The Godfather or something. Like, you need to see it.
There's so many references out there about it, and I've seen like toys of them and Funko Pops,
which is like, this is very like like Funkos of.
I know. It's weird. Now that I've seen the movie, I'm like, oh.
I mean, are we going to make like Ted Bundy Funkos or something at this point?
So
I would totally collect those.
My favorite reference is in The Simpsons. And it's not when Bart's dressed up as Alex, like in the full white with the bowler hat and everything. It's, I don't remember the episode, but there's like cupcakes on the counter or something, and he puts his hands up like Alex does when the naked woman comes out. It's just like the cupcakes have a cherry. The cupcakes have a cherry on top, and it's just like, it's such a great little homage. But anyway, that's part of the fun of The Simpsons, was there's just so many film references to like Citizen Kane, like movies that the 12-year-olds watching The Simpsons at the time didn't know.
Right.
But it's, you know, it's fun.
So I guess Clockwork Orange, I feel like this is somewhat up Aaron's alley. It's one of those things where people take something that is meant to be a cautionary tale and a warning, and then they idolize the wrong things about it.
Yeah.
So Clockwork Orange, both the book and the movie, have had many copycat crimes.
Yeah, and that was part of the reason the film was. Kubrick
himself pulled the film.
Pulled the film in the UK in, I think, 72 or 73.
Oh, wow.
Like, it had been out for a year. Clockwork Orange also has a record for the longest stay at a single theater. It was like 656 days or something.
Oh, wow.
That it played continuously day after day at almost sold out shows.
That's wild.
But yeah, there was like a copycat crime. The guy claimed that he was influenced by Clockwork Orange, and Kubrick lived in England, and a lot of the film was shot within like 10 minutes of his house.
It was like a 14-year-old boy. There was a 14-year-old boy that killed a homeless man.
Yeah.
In the same style that they do in the movie.
And he pulled it, and Warner Brothers was like, okay, even though, I mean, it already made a lot of money, so they were kind of okay with it, I guess. But like, and it wasn't available in the UK legally. I mean, there were always bootlegs and everything,
right?
Until 1999.
Oh wow!
After Kubrick passed away, so for almost 30 years, the movie was not available in the UK, which is it's just really crazy because it's such a inherently British film. Like the language, you know, it's shot there. But it's nice. It's great that they can see it now. Like that, it's not like being.
Well, that was I think the thing that made him pull it, though, was the Dutch girl who there was a 17-year-old Dutch girl who was like gang raped, and they sang Singing in the Rain. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And it was like, that was horrific. And I think Kubrick was like, nope, like we're not doing this. Like, he's like, I can't have that on my conscience. The thing is though, it was never his fault.
No,
he made a beautiful piece of cinema. You can't help how crazy people respond to it.
Right.
No, I mean,
you can't. But I could get how he would feel.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was also worried about his family.
Yeah,
because he lives in Borehamwood, which is like out away from civilization, like this little farmhouse, kind of a lot like the author's house, and I think having that out there for people to be like, let's go to Kubrick's house,
right? Exactly,
would keep you up at night.
Yeah. I would think so.
I think that's what he said. He said that they were getting. I think they said they were getting threats of violence, and then the police were like you kind of need to do something to him about it, and not like, again, I don't think anything ever deserves to be censored.
No,
but like, what does that say about like how impact? I mean, I think people take the wrong, like people idolize the wrong things all the time.
That's the thing.
But I mean, that's more of a
that's on the
that's
individual.
On the people, 100%.
Yeah, that's on the people. It's on the parents. These are kids, 14 years old. It's on them. And
talk to your children about what they're watching, and it helps. I mean,
there's always like that when you make a character like him so charismatic and devilish, like this.
Yeah,
it's like if you're not in the right headspace, that can mess with you. But yeah, like Clockwork Orange, people like Fight Club, Americans, like people, certain like men mostly. White men of a certain age will gravitate towards these films and be like, that's cool. Like American History X, it's 1, 2.
Yeah.
But especially like Fight Club and.
Well, even like Slenderman, 2 teenage girls.
It's the social media version.
It is. There's 2 teenage girls who killed their friend and said like.
Right.
Because they got into like too far into like a internet hype, and it's like.
And that's what I mean. You see that with all kinds of media.
Yeah.
Blaming video games for violence. I've played violent video games my whole life. I've never murdered somebody.
No, I mean it's like there's
except in my dream last night. But other than that,
wow.
It wasn't one of us, was it?
No, actually, it wasn't really
about the podcast booth.
It wasn't really about the murders. It was about them finding the bodies. I don't know. I had a weird dream. But anyways.
Okay.
Did you just keep digging graves?
I guess. Holes? Yeah, there were graves at different places.
Like somebody just keeps, like you're digging, like you're trying to, and then somebody comes up and you're like, oh. Whoop.
I guess. I didn't see the murder part, so I don't know.
They get another hole.
Well, I guess like Scream even.
That's where I was going. Like Scream, Grand Theft Auto gets it a lot.
The Scream is like
about anything.
It's talking about like that's the whole joke of the movie.
Right, but people don't get it.
No, yeah, I mean that's why the movie still holds up.
Those things speak more to the human and the individual that has a brain that says, "Oh, that is interesting to me." That's just the same as serial killers. You mentioned, what are we going to do? Make Funko Pops? I would 100% get those. I'm into serial killers, but for me, it's more about the mentality and the way their brain works.
Yeah.
That interests me. It's not the murdering everybody that interests me. I'm not going to go out there and do it.
I will take issue with making serial killers into action figures because that's profiting off of someone who murdered a bunch of people.
That is true.
Like it's different as a fictional character. Like whatever, it's fine. Maybe it's in poor taste, but like,
right? That's real murder. You're right. It's in poor taste. I'd probably still have them, but it's in poor taste.
I know. Well, everyone has their vices.
Well, that's like people have things like the attempted assassination of Reagan, which is
which John Hinckley was like
driver.
Jodie Foster told me to do it. Kind of,
It's like crazy people are going to crazy people no matter like what they watch.
Crazy going crazy.
They are.
I don't know if we should call them crazy people, but
mentally ill,
disturbed.
Yeah.
Things are going to speak to people that should not, the dark
right,
night,
exactly,
like they shouldn't speak in the way that they are speaking.
I mean, we see that with politicians as well.
We can't. Yes, exactly. We can't help. We can't.
I mean, no comment other than that, but
we see that. Yeah. That does happen. There was even a RoboCop murderer. I didn't know.
Someone get shot in the ween.
Does it happen to her?
Serial killers become a.
The dude gets shot like he goes.
It's been forever.
Well, it's like the two guys are attempting to rape the woman, and he shoots in between her skirt, and it hits the dude in the junk.
Yeah.
They also make a very long. There's a very long like fan made video of multiple people getting shot in the.
I've shown you that
wiener many times. It's great.
Maybe.
All right, so the son of Sam Killer. Said he was initially inspired to kill while watching the movie RoboCop 2. The first girl I killed was from a RoboCop 2 movie I'd seen.
RoboCop 2?
Yeah. The character cut
killing from a good
somebody's throat and take a knife and slit down the chest of the stomach and left the body in a certain position. With the first person I killed, I did exactly what I saw in that movie.
RoboCop.
See, I also feel like that's just people trying to be have a scapegoat.
Yeah, like it's a movie.
Like, why'd you do it? Not because you have issues, but because I saw it in a movie.
Well, that's because sometimes movie violence is beautiful, and like that. Yeah. Like I mean, and so I think that people who are violently inclined are somewhat drawn to that, but that's not the fault of the movie. That is a failure of the system and the person. Like that's a failure. 100%. It's a failure of how we
exactly
catch and treat mental health, and it's a failure of how like just humanity. Like sometimes people are just not like your brain just doesn't work the right way, and that can manifest in a lot of ways, but sometimes it's violent and scary. I don't know. Clockwork Orange is a great one, but it's rough.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I say.
I have trouble with the first 30 minutes. I tend to.
Well, I think you're supposed to.
Right. Yeah. And I get that. And that's what I say. Like, I in this movie, I did see, the stuff that makes it a great movie. Mm-hmm. It's just not a movie for me, is all.
Okay. That's cool.
But
I'm glad you watched it, and I'm glad that
I paid attention.
Appreciated it.
Yeah.
Like, its place in history.
Right, exactly. That's the thing.
And its importance and what it's saying.
And not even in history. I can see it being very relevant.
Yeah, no, I mean, just
still.
like, yeah.
But yeah, the fact that it's a movie that's important to history, I get it completely. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch it again. It was still not something I enjoyed, really.
Okay.
But...
Well, at least you've seen more.
It was shot well.
Thanks. You've seen more than one Kubrick movie. So.
This is true.
Hey, just count your blessings that it wasn't. What's the one he'll really hate?
2001.
Yeah, besides that one, but yeah, he would.
He'll hate like all. This was the one that I was like, he'll probably like this one. Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes, that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm gonna pick that at some point.
Over sexualization.
Oh, great.
It's all integral to the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna have issues with that one. That's gonna be fun to talk about.
Hey. We'll see one day.
A large portion of the movie takes
Hopefully
place
not
in a.
It's like, well, the movie was that Eyes Wide Shut was sold as like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman are gonna get it on. Like that's how they sold it, and it's like that's not what the movie is. People were like, "What's this all like 2.5 hours of just like people talking about dreams and wandering around a fake New York?" And it's like like the marketing just ruined people's expectations. I went in and I was like, "This is a Kubrick movie," and I got a Kubrick movie.
Right.
That was his last movie. Anyway, so that's a Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange. So, good. It's a good film in film standards.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like the shots and stuff like that. And you love it.
I love it. Yeah.
And I don't.
This was the most fun I've had watching it, aside from the first time.
Yeah. Well, that's good, though.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Clockwork Orange. So we're going to jump into some announcements from the library, and then we'll be right back to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Hey everyone, this is Kendall from SCPL Youth Services with your update for the month of September. We have lots planned this month, so we hope that you will join us. Starting on September 5th, right after Labor Day, we're going to have our weekly story times again on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. On Tuesdays, we'll be starting something new. We're going to have a Spanish story time where we will read and play and learn in both Anglais and Espanol, or English and Spanish. And then on Thursdays will be the return of our Words and Wiggles program. And again, those are both at 10:30 in the morning. On Wednesday afternoons from 4 to 5, we'll have our Teen Territory programs. And these are open to students in grades 6 through 12. And we'll be doing a little something different every week. So stay tuned to our Facebook page for specifics. But I will let you know that the first week on September 6th, we'll be doing a group mural craft. And then the second week on the 13th of September, we're going to have a smoothie creation taste-off. So those are our regular weekly programs. We also have some special events in the month of September. September 9th is the South Charleston Arts and Crafts Festival at the Mound from 9 to 5 p.m. And we hope that you'll stop by the Mound to meet with us and the Itty Bitty Therapy Horses, who will be our special guests, that Saturday between 11 and 2. You'll be able to pet these adorable horses who we hear will be appearing in costume. So if you have a little one who's a fan, especially of unicorns, you might want to stop by. And again, that's Saturday the 9th between 11 and 2. We have Lego Night on September 12th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. This is kind of an open house style program where you can pop by with your kids anytime during those hours that are convenient. And we will have Legos out, traditional Legos, and larger blocks for smaller hands. And you can create whatever you imagine, or we'll have some themed ideas for you to use as well. And then finally, on Tuesday, September 26th, we have a Mission to Mars solar eclipse program. And you may or may not know that coming up in October, we have our annular eclipse happening on Saturday, October 14th. And so this program on September 26th will help you learn what an eclipse is. You'll get a chance to pick out safe viewing glasses, eclipse glasses for you and your family. And this family-friendly event on solar eclipses will be in the evening from 6:30 to 7:15 p.m. So we hope you'll join us for one or more of our great September programs. We're great to be back in business after an August full of planning. And now I'm going to hand it off to Toby with your adult announcements for September. Thanks so much. Bye.
Hey guys, this is Toby with Adult Services, just coming in to let you know that book club is back. So if you would like to participate in the SCPL book club, you can pick up your books starting September 5th here at the library. Just come by and sign your book out. We will discuss those books on September 25th at 6 p.m. So you'll have a whole 20 days to read those books and then bring them back in to discuss on September 25th. Between then, we have a few craft programs, which are always a great time here. The first one, we have a cottagecore inspired polymer clay workshop on September 11th, starting at 6 p.m. We will be making cute little mushroom critters and gardeny kind of crafts. Our next craft will be September 18th at 6 p.m., which we are going to turn damaged books into pumpkins. So a great way to recycle books that can't really be read anymore, don't have a home anymore. So we'll be recycling some damaged books and turning them into very cute little paper pumpkins. Our last big thing for the month of September, and this is for adults and my children can come too. It's a community event. We have the book brunch, which is a great opportunity we have some local authors and publishers coming in to talk about writing and also to share their books. And we will have some light refreshments available for people who come to that as well. So you can come by anytime that day. Book brunch is from 11 to 3 p.m. Walk through, talk with some of our local authors, check out their work, and talk with some of our local publishing houses as well. So that will be great. And that will be 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, September 30th. So last Saturday in September. We hope to see you there. All right, turning it back over to the guys for the rest of the show.
All right, we're back from those announcements from the library, and we're going to jump straight into Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the 1992 movie. Josh is looking super excited for this. Can't wait for that. I guess I'll start. I saw Buffy when I was younger, of course, and I probably saw it somewhere. It definitely was in between when the movie came out. It might have been when it came out. Nah, I must have been a little bit older, but it was before the TV show came out.
The TV show started in what, 97?
97. So I had already seen this movie. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. So I've loved it from a young age, and I actually liked it so much that when Buffy the TV show came out, I refused to watch it at first. Because
that's not the real Buffy.
Exactly.
Christy Swanson's my Buffy.
Well, I've always loved Sarah Michelle Gellar, so it wasn't anything about that. But I had switched over one time to be like, okay, maybe I'll check it. And it was when she was killing a demon of some sort. So she was using a sword. And I didn't have the context of what was going on. And I was like, that's not how Buffy works. So I didn't watch it for a little bit.
Not out Buffy.
But it did end up becoming one of my favorite TV shows of all times.
Your favorite TV shoes are the Buffy TV shoes.
I would wear those.
Make a reel.
I would wear those. Oh Lord.
I would wear those.
I
would make and wear.
I'd make and wear these.
The Buffy TV shoes.
So, anyways, it has a lot of good people in it. They're just starting out. I mean, it's one of their earlier movies, obviously.
The first movie for Hilary Swank.
Yes.
And Tom Jane.
Who's Tom Jane?
Thomas Jane. He was
what else is he in?
He was in Boogie Nights. He was the Punisher in The Punisher. He was in that show Hung.
Okay.
He's mostly done like a lot of more character parts.
Who was he in this movie?
He's like the Luke Perry's buddy mechanic. Like he's in one shot.
At the
Like at the
auto shop.
At the auto shop.
Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing. There's a lot of people that's only in one shot.
Yeah. Apparently Seth Green's in 3 seconds of the movie.
Yes. He claims he was cut out. So there's Seth Green
And Ben Affleck is in the basketball game.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that aside, for me, it's just the comedy of it mixed with. Do you not think it's funny?
The comedy of it.
Just okay. Well, I found it hilarious, and I think it's that mixed with the fact that it's still like vampires, and back then that wasn't a big thing. So, I mean, it wasn't like you didn't have Twilight and all these lighter hearted. I don't know. I guess you had Lost Boys.
I mean, there's always been vampire movies.
Yeah,
like
I'm just saying, like, this was a different one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a more comical take.
That's what I'm saying.
Vampire.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Or like someone went to a department store and picked up some fangs, and we're like, let's put this in the movie.
I love it.
This will be good.
I love that. We know I'm more about if I enjoy a movie and if it's fun, and I just think this one's very fun. It is different than even
the shoe.
No. Oh boy, I hate to even say his name, but Joss Whedon.
Oh.
So it's different than Joss Whedon wanted it to be. He even left the set and didn't return.
I'd leave the set too.
Yeah, well, I love how it turned out. So we know Josh didn't like it.
Yes. I mean, I remember watching this when it came out on video. Like, so I would have been probably like 10 when it came out on video or something. And I remember thinking like, yeah, whatever, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, Christy Swanson's cute.
Yeah, I like Christy Swanson.
I was like, oh, that's the dude from Blade Runner. That's pretty much where I was like, yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
I saw it some years later, and I was like, meh.
Did you rewatch it this time?
I watched it.
You did?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
No, I did. I watched it twice, actually.
What? Oh.
Not that a lot of it sunk in, but I watched it like maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Again, for some reason. And thinking like, yeah, whatever. And then I watched it again. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I absolutely love this movie.
Like, so the fun parts are Rutger Hauer and Donald Sutherland.
Mm-hmm.
They're having fun. And I think they know what movie they're in. I do kind of appreciate the comic book feel of it. Like during when all the vampires are forming like the gym at the end and everything.
Yeah.
Like it almost feels like I can see like a panel of a comic.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately, they're moving and don't watch the background actors.
Yeah, I don't.
Or even the foreground actors. Like just don't watch it because they're just like it's like they're almost like a haunted house, like the Camden Park haunted house. And there's these things like, and they're just kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
Like while things are happening, it's like.
But see, I love that about it.
This is not like.
I find it. I find the whole thing comical, and
well, I mean, it's supposed to be funny.
It surprised me when I first found out that. I mean, it's been a long time ago that it wasn't his actual vision for it to be that ridiculous.
Yeah, which
I liked it because it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they did get to like make the movie, the script, I guess, the original script into a comic.
Yeah, which I didn't know until I just read that. So I'm gonna have to check that out.
That's cool. I mean, still hate Joss Whedon, but that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that this whatever.
I hate that he's attached to so many things I really like.
Well, here's the thing. I never really liked him. Or anything,
really?
So I'm okay with it.
Well, see, I love Buffy. I ended up loving the TV show. I loved Dollhouse. I love
Firefly.
Cabin in the Woods.
I love Cabin in the Woods. That's the one thing. But he only like co-wrote that. He didn't direct it or anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like okay with it.
Yeah.
I love Cabin in the Woods.
I like Firefly.
Funny.
I never have done Firefly yet. I meant to,
okay.
but now
it's a space western. It's good.
Now that it's like a
Han Solo show.
I meant to back when I was like, I need to see everything he's made, and now I don't feel that way. So.
Yes, it is a better Han Solo movie.
It's better than the Han Solo movie. And I like the supporting cast in Firefly. Like, I don't know, it's okay.
Yeah.
Serenity was okay too, but that would be like Cabin in the Woods top tier.
Right.
Firefly's okay. Buffy,
Did you ever watch any of the show?
I watched like some episodes of the show.
Okay.
Like probably the first season.
Yeah.
That's
rough.
Well, that's not my fault.
Right. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the first season is rough.
The movie. I like the movie more than I like what I've seen of the show.
Yeah.
Because at least it feels consistent with what it is, and it doesn't.
That's what I was going to say about being rough of the first season. It doesn't know what it is yet.
Well, and I think because it doesn't have Joss Whedon's kind of writing, that I like it, because I don't like his writing.
Well, I mean, I know
he wrote
it,
but
yeah,
this is not like that script.
Right.
They changed it a lot. Clearly.
Oh, you're saying the movie?
The movie, yeah. No, the movie. Is
they changed a lot of it.
Not what he wrote,
right?
And I think that's why I'm still like, but I still like it more than the show.
Yeah.
And also Rutger Hauer and Luke Perry. I forgot Luke Perry was in it.
Yeah, Luke Perry.
I mean, granted, I like Christy Swanson more than Sarah Michelle.
Oh,
as far as I think
it was a different kind of Buffy too.
I think she plays that Valley Girl thing really well.
Right. They kind of scrapped that a little bit when it came to the TV show.
I find her a lot less likable though.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't need her.
I love them both.
I like her, but like her start is rough.
Oh yeah, she's a B.
Like she's kind of she's definitely a big B word.
But I like that, and then
like
that's the point.
But then she learns.
It's 100% the point.
Stephen Root is also in this.
I know Stephen Root is the principal.
Yeah.
It's just stuff like him handing out like detention notices to the vampires. But it's like
detention.
That's great.
It's like really, this feels like a Disney Channel movie or something.
Right.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't supposed to be. But that's how they took it.
That's what I mean. It's like it's,
and maybe that's part of it. Is I watched it when I was young, so maybe it's mostly nostalgia. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed rewatching it, and I love watching it every time I've ever seen it.
I think. I mean, if it was a Disney Channel movie, I'd be more.
You'd be like, okay, that's what this is.
Yeah, but it's like this is a theatrically released movie.
Yeah, well, it didn't do great.
With like real actors.
Yeah.
I will give you the bright spot of the movie, aside from Rutger Hauer and Donald Sutherland, was Paul Rubin's death.
Oh,
scene.
100%.
The death scene. It is supremely like well staged.
Yes,
like,
it is. It is perfect.
She stakes him
with
a ruler.
Yeah, she was using random objects, as long as they're wood.
And he drops out of frame, and he pops up, and he drops down.
He's like,
and
then he falls over,
and then it pops up in the credits.
And then he just like.
Yeah, and at the credits he pops back up. Yeah, I've been telling you this all along.
I mean, I know
one of the best death scenes ever, and it's because I guess at this point he was mostly known for Pee-wee. I'm assuming
Pee-wee kind of coming to an end at this point, wasn't it? Like in 90.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying he was known for that. And
here we go. We can just do it again. I die.
But it's funny even.
But it's the part where he's on the ground really that gets me.
Yeah. Or he stops and looks at her. This is like one of my favorite scenes in any movie. I absolutely love it. Then he kicks the wall.
But it's when he like flops over.
Yeah, right there. Boom. But it actually is funny before that part even. Because Rubens plays Amelin, and you were talking about Rutger, who plays Lothos. So this is like the culminating in the end part. She's about to fight Lothos. It's the big fight. But what's funny about it is, at first Amelin attacks, and then she's got him pinned against the wall, but Lothos starts playing the music. So they both get distracted. So you think, okay, he's going to be saved. And he thinks that too. And he looks at Lothos, and Lothos just shakes his head, no. And then she stabs him. and that death scene it's always been one of my favorites. I think it's so hilarious.
It's really funny. It's a bright spot in the movie.
That's ridiculous, yes.
It is. I mean, honestly, it's one of definitely my favorite parts in that.
Also, way to undercut like everything that's about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hilarious. It's great. But it's like, we're ramping up to the climax. Let's take a quick 1.5 minute departure for Hamlin.
That's why I love
an
it.
SNL skit kind of thing.
Yeah, that's why I love it. And that's what I say. I love that the movie, how it came out. I know it wasn't what he originally wanted, and that's why we end up with Buffy, the TV show, which is also amazing. But for me, it's just perfect. I don't know. I love the weird like detention slips and the dumb stuff. And also one of my favorite scenes, which I've tried and you can't actually do it, is pinning a fly to the wall with a thumbtack when she's talking to the principal.
She's throwing it?
No, she spits it.
Oh, she spits it.
It is not very possible.
Many a gum has been stabbed by a thumbtack, I feel like, in your past.
When I was young, I just thought that was what was cool, you know?
How many
I
did
used
you-
to
how
also
many did
try
you
to catch
swallow?
knives at my head.
Did you swallow any?
I don't think so.
That would explain a lot.
I mean, I can't say I didn't, but I don't remember.
I think if they had gone like full kind of Naked Gun spoof, I think it would have been more better.
Yeah. Okay. Better.
But I feel like it's like, because it's like the detention slip thing. It's like, that's just an example. But it's like, I still need to have some sort of a grounding of like human behavior. Because it kind of treats the characters like they're just really, 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 really dumb.
Yeah.
Which is okay in a Naked Gun movie. That's the point. Everyone plays it straight.
But see, I feel like that's the point in this as well. Like the principal's dumb. He's supposed to be.
But he knows. There's a self-awareness that doesn't work in something like Naked Gun or Black Dynamite. It's that they're playing it straight.
Right.
As far as they know, they're in a police, like a real cop movie.
Right. I get what you're saying.
And if Stephen Root thought he was in a real vampire movie, the absurdity would work against him playing it straight, or Christy Swanson or whoever. Which I think she generally plays it.
I think she does.
Plays it pretty straight. And
Luke Perry.
I mean, Rutger Hauer, and Donald Sutherland are just like, I don't know, they took the gig because it's probably a good paycheck. And and they're hamming it up and they're having fun. And I like seeing them.
I feel like Luke Perry almost plays it too straight. Like, he has very little reaction to his friend floating outside of his window.
No, that's I was getting ready to talk about that. That is I love that. Absolutely.
And then he's like, instead of being really upset about this, he goes to his other friend, he's like, what do you want me to do if I see Benny? And he's like, run.
Well,
like,
I mean,
that's it. Like,
that's what he wants him to do. I love it because Benny gets bitten, obviously, which is played by
David Arquette.
David Arquette.
And Luke Perry goes to his window because Benny's knocking on it and he's like floating there. And his reaction is just like, go home, you're floating.
You're like, what are you
like, no, I will not let you in.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Is just like there's a
I love it.
The absurdity, but if he played it straight, it would have been funnier.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he plays it pretty straight. Like, that's the thing.
I think
he plays it. He kind of plays it like he's bored.
Yeah, he has like no reaction basically. Like that's the thing. I think it's almost not enough.
He was doing 90210 at this point. He's probably pulling doubles. Like he's like shooting 90210 during the day and this at night, because a lot of his scenes are shot at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's probably shooting this at night, and he's probably just exhausted. And he's like, "I'll show up and I'll say the lines.
Yeah.
Give me a couple $1,000,000.
Yeah.
I like Stephen Root's.
He's always great.
It's drugs, isn't it? You can tell me. I've done my fair share of drugs. Well, acid one time at a show, but I could see the music.
The whole time he's telling that story is when she is watching The Fly and shoots the thing at the fly. So it's like background noise, which I think makes it so much better.
Yeah.
He's telling this whole story to try to be relatable, and she's just like,
yeah, she's not listening. Which she plays that Valley Girl really well. And
yeah, I buy that.
I loved her interactions with Donald Sutherland. Like them as a pair, I thought played well.
Yeah.
And there's some great one-liners between them. Like after the first time she does go sit on a grave, when he comes in and he's talking to her, and she says things like, does Elvis talk to you? Does he tell you to do things? Do you see spots? And then when he throws the knife at her head, and just their interactions there. Then I think it's kind of sad when he dies.
No, that's the other thing is they make. That's the thing. That's one thing about the Buffy character in general that annoys me, is that Buffy is not stupid. Buffy plays stupid, and like I kind of hate that.
Well, in this one, Buffy is a Valley Girl at first. She doesn't know the rest.
Right.
She's never thrown a punch.
Witty. She's witty. She's like she picks up, like she's quick, and it's like while she doesn't do well in school, okay, but like that girl's not dumb.
Yeah.
And that girl is
she has
dumb.
she has some like common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like I think they always have the Buffy play like
on the streets.
It's like half the time she's like, oh, I don't know. And like half the time she's like quick on the wit, like, does Elvis talk to you? Like, it's like you're not equally quick-witted and stupid. Like those things don't go.
That's what happens.
I think that's what makes it funny.
You have half dozen people in a writer's room on the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I just think that's the thing that bothers me. But I think that bothers me. I think anytime, and I think it's a condition thing. But I think when women play dumb. It just irks me. Clearly not.
Right.
Like, you know, and Buffy's clearly aware of when she's doing it too. And I don't know if I love that. Can you imagine? Not that Anthony Head isn't great as Giles, but can you imagine if Donald Sutherland had played?
Oh, it would have been great too.
Giles on the show.
Yeah, it would have been good. Although I do love Anthony Head.
I do
Y'all
too.
talk about the show. I don't know.
He's a great.
I'm just going to zone out here for a second.
That's okay.
No, but I mean, overall, it's always been one of my favorite movies. A fun movie for me. I never go into it like it's a serious thing, for sure.
No, I mean, I know what I'm getting into.
But I think it also is definitely
it's
a
called
nostalgia
Buffy,
thing.
the Vampire
I
Slayer,
love that name.
and the poster of with her and Luke. It's like,
Yeah.
I know what that movie is.
Yeah.
It's a good. I mean,
It depends on what poster, because you also have this poster of her in the cheerleader suit.
with the steak.
Yeah.
That's a good
Which I
one.
love that one too.
oh, okay.
But there's multiple different ones. But I think it's definitely a nostalgia thing too, because I saw this young growing up. So like Buffy was what was cool to me.
It's definitely
up.
what if Barbie killed vampires,
Yeah.
which I like. I love that. Like,
Right.
I like Buffy. I like this Buffy.
I just feel like the you can tell like the budget was kind of slashed and the film was like rushed. I think that's why
Yeah.
some of like the big kind of siege at the end of the school feels like half-assed.
Yeah.
She goes out like into the parking lot or whatever, the courtyard, and there's a bunch of vampires surrounding her. She's throwing these like big kicks and stuff, but the other ones, just watch the background actors. It's fun because there's like,
Yeah. I've always loved that. But see, I've always found it funny because when she does go outside, first of all, they're like, we want her. And they're like in the doorway. Well, they close the doors so she can kick them open, of course. And that's always made me laugh. She kicks them open. She throws her bag of steaks and then she does cartwheels to it. But like the vampires are lined up on the side. And if it was a real vampire movie, they'd be attacking her.
they would have killed her.
But instead, they wait for her to do her cartwhile, get her steak bag,
Yeah.
and then they surround her, and then they wait to one by one be kicked in the face.
Pretty much.
And I love that.
And that's what and there's one thing like that is very inconsistent just in that scene. It's like there's like 3 or 4 vampires are at the doorway to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I think Luke Perry's like, don't worry, they can't. I mean, like, we need to go kill them or whatever. She's like, don't worry, they have to be invited first.
Yeah.
And then Hillary Swank comes up and she's like, I just invited them.
I already invited them. They're seniors.
But then they're still. Then the next shot is them at the doorway going, "We'll see you in the parking lot." And I'm just like, wait, you can come in.
Yeah.
You know, like there's like you can clearly tell it wasn't like the stuff was already shot and then they rewrote stuff and it just doesn't make any sense.
Hilary Swank's character's annoying and in a fun way through this movie as well. She's kind of like the even
Ditzier.
ditzier Valley girl.
Yeah.
And
See, but I believe she's stupid.
yeah. Right. Yeah. She 100% in this movie plays stupid.
She don't.
I don't believe Hillary Swank is stupid, but I believe
No,
this
yeah.
character is stupid. Yes.
But those are the things. You're a film buff, so those kind of things bother you. Me, I love the inconsistency. It makes it funnier to me. I love that there's these weird things like the door. It always makes me laugh that they closed the door just so she could look badass and kick it open. Like that's exactly why they do it, and it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
to me that's hilarious.
Well, I think you just cut out the scene where Hillary Swank comes up and is like, I invited him. You
Yeah.
just cut that out and then it makes sense.
Yeah, I like that though because it shows her stupidity. She's like, but they're seniors.
I am with you. I think this Buffy hits kind of the level of bad
Yeah.
that I like, and a bit, like it's just like, oh, this is poorly done, but bless them.
Yeah, I think intentions were good.
I think they tried, and I think it's good.
I think like I was reading the budget was like slashed pretty late. And they had to accommodate Luke Perry's schedule, and Donald Sutherland kept rewriting his scenes like during the day. Which I mean, I don't know. He's Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, you
knows
let
what
him
he-
do it because
Joss-
his scenes were all great.
You know-
Supposedly, Joss Whedon really hated working with Donald Sutherland,
Oh, okay.
which I bet that was, the same felt.
Well, he's not
back.
a 17-year-old girl that he can
Right.
push around.
That's true.
I like all of his. He plays Merrick. I feel like that character really well. He plays the handler character super well.
Yeah,
And
I liked him a lot, and I love all the names in the movie. I've had many fish named after Buffy and
D&D
my
characters.
D&D characters are named after Buffy characters. I don't know. I think they're cool names. I like them.
Amlin, Lothos.
Amlin, Lothos, and
I loved Paul Rubens' character in this. Amlin is a great vampire.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's a great silly vampire, non-serious vampire. I love the look.
yeah,
The like dirty rock star
yeah.
look. And
Axl Rose was a vampire.
yeah,
Pretty
like
much.
it's just I don't know. She's like, that's great. I love the very Dracula plot of you will be my undead queen kind
Right.
of stuff. Like, what is going like?
Yeah.
I wonder if they
Creepy.
just couldn't get the rights, or is Dracula public domain?
It should be, yeah. Dracula
Like,
is public domain.
They
It's
could-
old.
Like,
Yeah.
why they just didn't make him Dracula or something? I guess maybe that would have been too on the nose.
Too much.
Yeah,
But,
maybe.
I mean, he might as well be Dracula. He dresses like him.
well, yeah. It's the same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know that I would have loved that it was Dracula. Like, I like it when it's something other than Dracula sometimes.
Also, they
Yeah.
could have. Then they would have named him. Like, then the movie would have been called Dracula. I like
Yeah,
that
would've
they
took
let
the focus off
Buffy
of-
be the star of the show. 'cause
Even
he's a
Lothos, I mean,
vampire.
he's in a good amount of scenes, but he's not a main focus. Like, he's the bad guy, but he's not the main focus.
I mean, he's just like, hey, we need to cut to Lothos, and so Rutger can ham it up
yeah,
pretty much, and then they
Mm-hmm.
cut
which he
back.
does. He does great.
No, and I like the bits where like they flash back to like Buffy and or how the movie starts. You know,
Yeah, like how the previous Slayers
yeah,
fought Lothos and all.
that was cool.
I also really love the scene when Lothos, it's at the, after she kills Amelin, she hold, like his quick whips and stuff are good too. When she holds up cross to him and he's like, what are you going to do? Use your religion or something like that?
Mhm.
And then she says, no, my sense of fashion, my keen sense of fashion. And she sprays like hairspray to light him on fire.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just funny between them. I thought it was pretty hilarious.
yeah, I think they work well together.
So, if you had to pick a favorite scene, is it the death scene or is there something else you enjoyed?
I mean, probably that. That's the only part I laughed at.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
hurts
it's
my
so-
heart for you.
So I mean,
I laugh from beginning to end of this movie.
it's also obvious.
I know, but I like obvious. That's what makes it funny and fun. I don't have to think. This movie feels like 5 minutes for me, and I love it.
I mean, it is short. I'll give it that.
Oh, okay. Well, I just mean like I don't have to think.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Rubens, the death scene's really funny.
Yeah.
That's,
See, I've been telling you all along on the podcast.
well, I
it's a
mean, I
great
know I've
death
seen
scene.
the movie before. I remember
I know,
the scene.
but I'm just saying.
I was just like that made me laugh. This time
It was hilarious.
the only thing that made me laugh.
Okay. Well, that once again, that makes me sad for you. But
I don't know what it is. Like I feel like it's tonally doesn't know what it wants to be,
mhm,
and I think it's not staged the way it should be to be what it wants to be.
yeah,
I
I think
mean,
it
and
wants
I
to.
see that. I know what you're talking about.
I think it wants to be a comedy, but I don't feel any. I still need some sort of stakes. Like Shaun of the Dead's a good example.
I love Shaun of the Dead.
It's a comedy. It's really funny.
Yeah,
But it's also, I really care about Sean and I really care about his mom and like all the
Right.
characters. Like maybe not the guy with the glasses that kind of gets them all killed almost,
yeah,
but he can die. That's fine.
for sure.
But that's his character. And like, but like when it gets to the end and it's like, it's really sweet. Like he's got Nick Frost in the shed and like they're playing their video games and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, like it's funny, but I'm involved in the character.
Right.
Because it's like the movie is consistent, and it knows what it wants to be, and it's well written and performed, and Buffy is not.
Yeah.
So
I think for me, as far as like caring about the characters, of course I really get into like the evolution of Buffy as a human, but I definitely have care for Merrick. Like I said, for me, when Merrick dies, it's kind of sad.
It is sad.
I think they did good with that, like showing how sad she is before she thought he was just a weird old man, like that. But other than that, all the characters are dispensable.
yeah,
I think you're right. Like you don't feel for like if Hilary Swank's character gets bit, nobody cares.
yeah. I mean, it's all just so broadly drawn.
Right.
I think that's. I don't know.
It's almost like everybody else is extras.
Yeah, and the Paul Rubens scene works because it is broadly drawn. It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's just like really because they knew to hold on that's what the joke and hold on the joke.
Right.
He pops out of frame, pops back up in frame, keels over. It's someone was on their A game that day.
Yeah, I've always loved that scene, and I've used it a couple times. Like
you reference it often.
Yeah, I do.
But yeah, I mean that's the highlight for me because that's the one like scene that's like I think they know what they wanted and they got it.
Yeah, that whole scene there.
And it's kind of fun to see malls and stuff though. I'll give you like it's nostalgic to just like I miss that.
If only. I know. That's sad.
Anyway, sorry, I got interrupted.
Oh no, I was just saying, I think one of like the defining, like this definitely cements some of like the feel that later becomes like the Buffy show is like it's quick. Like the one-liners are good. Like we're immortal, we can do anything. Oh, really? Clap.
Yeah.
Oh
my gosh, that's a great one.
Really clap. Like
that's
Buffy
all
has
right
great
there.
one-liners. Like she really carries off that action hero, but like yeah, in her own kind of way.
And that's what I was getting ready to say is I do think the culmination where in there, she's fighting Amelin and Lothos is when you get some of the best stuff when it's just them three.
Yeah, when you get rid of all the side characters.
Because like that joke, it was good, and their reactions to it were good, and then her interactions with Lothos with the cross and the fire, and Amelin's death, and all that kind of stuff. I think that is really good material.
Well, they're like the least dumb characters.
Yeah. So I saw Alyssa Milano was originally pinned for Buffy. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I can see that.
She would have been okay, I think.
Yeah.
But I think Christy Swanson's really good.
I do too. I think that was the right choice.
For the Valley Girl kind of thing they go for, I think, you know what? And I've always kind of liked her as an actress, I think. She didn't have the biggest career or anything. There's this other movie I like a lot called The Chase. Came out in 94, I think 94 or 95. Her and Charlie Sheen with cameos by Anthony Kiedis and Flea.
Okay.
And Henry Rollins.
That's random.
Yeah, it's just this little like action comedy that Charlie Sheen like is a terrible thief and he holds up a gas station with a Butterfinger.
Yeah.
And takes her hostage with the Butterfinger and he ends up getting a gun. But anyway, the whole movie is just like them in the car, this chase. And it's only like 90 minutes. It's a very short, sweet little like action comedy. And I liked her in that a lot. I don't really know what happened to her after that. But I know
like eventually a couple years ago she made a Christmas movie for like
I'm sure
Hallmark.
she's making Hallmark movies left and right. Like that's
I watched it just because it was her.
She's also the one that answers the teacher in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh
when he's
yeah,
doing the
that's
Bueller.
right.
Yeah,
Bueller. That's her. And
I like her as Buffy. I think she does a good job.
I think so too.
Like I said, I've only seen like a few episodes of the show, but I'll still take the movie over the show. Probably they haven't like remade it.
Their original movie
or the show, or it seems like
it was in talk.
It seems
to
like
be
something
remade.
that's popular enough that they would be able to.
They have talked about remaking it and then doing like a little different spin-off kind of thing, and it just keeps getting tabled, especially now.
It's a shame Paul Rubens passed away. We could have just had an Amblin show.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
That would be great.
All right, so I guess basically that kind of brings us to the end of our discussion about Buffy. I feel like we could go back and forth saying a lot of the same things, and I feel like maybe we did.
We probably did.
But, you like Christy Swanson. I love Buffy, the movie and the show. This is, like I said, one of my favorite movies to pop in. This is like Scream for me. Pop it in and don't have to really watch it even.
Still better than Coyote Ugly.
Okay.
And, what was the other one that you made me watch?
Crossroads?
No, not Crossroads. It was one recently that was like, I was longing for Coyote Ugly.
Oh.
What was it?
I don't remember.
The Unseated Coyote Ugly is the worst one. Let me go look.
Yeah, I do remember you saying that though.
Not Bodies.
Wasn't great, but still better.
You don't like most of them, so I'm trying to get through there.
No, Tammy, that's the one.
Oh.
Still better than Tammy and Coyote Ugly.
Tammy.
Well, that's good.
What about Crossroads?
It's on like Crossroads level.
Okay.
Solid middle ground then.
Sounds like that's where most of my favorite movies land. So that's just where I am.
That works.
That Crossroads though.
All right. So there's those movies, Clockwork Orange and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And for next time, we need to pick new movies. not new movies, but movies to watch. And there's an event coming up.
Yeah, they're showing Napoleon Dynamite at the Clay Center with members of the cast.
Wait, when does it happen?
August 31st.
So it's going to already happen before this comes out. But because of that, I am choosing Napoleon Dynamite, which you haven't seen.
I've never seen.
And he is going to go see it.
I'm going to see it and meet the cast. I got VIP tickets.
That's right. And then they're also going to do a panel discussion, I guess.
But I'm most excited about meeting the guy that played the Wolfman in Monster Squad.
Which one was that?
He's Uncle Rico.
Oh,
he played the Wolfman in Monster Squad, which is a movie I watched.
Who else is going to be there? John Herder.
I think it's Heder.
Oh, Heder.
I forget the guy that plays Uncle Rico. He's been in a bunch of
That
stuff.
guy and Pedro.
Pedro, yeah.
John
I think it's those three.
Pedro.
I wish Napoleon's girlfriend or whatever would be in it there.
I think it's just the three of them.
Yeah, I think so. But she's the girl from Karina. She was in Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, her?
And then she also was in Veronica Mars.
Karina, the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Was Whoopi Goldberg in that?
Yeah.
Okay. Like the little white girl?
Mm-hmm. I love Karina, by the way.
Is that a different... That's a different person than I'm... No, I mean, I know the girl in that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I would like to meet her. She was in a lot of stuff that I liked.
What's her name?
Tina Majorino.
Yes. I knew it was...
She is the little girl in Karina.
Something different. I didn't know how to... Yeah, it's a great movie.
She's also in Andre.
Yeah.
She's the little girl. That was my favorite movie as a little kid.
She's in a lot of little stuff.
She was in a bunch of stuff as a little
Oh, is that the one with the seal?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That was one of my favorites when I was like little.
I remember seeing the video.
I know she's in it.
7 or 8. I don't know. They're just really cute.
But yeah, I'm going to watch the movie and meet the cast.
So you're going to get a whole experience.
I'm going to get thrown in the deep end.
Can you
we'll get to hear about that too. So anyway, my pick is Napoleon Dynamite. It's one of my favorite movies from that era. I'm excited to watch it again, actually, because I haven't watched it in years. But it's definitely something...
Did you decide if you're going or not?
No, I haven't decided, but I keep forgetting, honestly. But it's next Thursday, right?
Yeah, next Thursday.
Okay. So possibly, it just depends. I'm also leaving early the next morning, so I don't know. Regardless, I am going to watch it again, and I'm so excited for it.
Okay.
So we'll see what you think.
Cool.
And I love that you're getting like a whole experience.
Oh, yeah. This is...
It's going to be good.
Getting thrown in the deep end with Napoleon Dynamite.
So what am I going to watch?
Well, recently, a couple weeks ago, William Friedkin passed away. Mm-hmm. Director of French Connection and The Exorcist. So I'm going to pick one of his movies.
Okay.
It's not The Exorcist, because Toby told us not to pick horror movies for a couple episodes.
That's true.
I'll save that one for October, probably. Yeah. So I'm going to pick Sorcerer, which is film he made after The Exorcist. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most suspenseful films ever made. You can just see the lunacy of what they were attempting to accomplish on screen, and it's one of my favorite movies. It's in my top 20. I've only seen it like 3 or 4 times, but it's like burned into my brain.
You just love Roy Schneider, and that's fair.
Scheider.
Sorry, Roy Scheider, and that's fair.
Good thing you're here to pronounce the names correctly.
Scheider. I just don't want him associated with like Rob Schneider.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
That,
Roy
close.
Schneider, yeah. I just have dyslexia. I'm bad at reading names.
I love Roy Scheider. Like he's great in Jaws and French Connection and Sorcerer. And,
so I think I've heard of the movie, but I don't know much about it.
I picked it for like the newsletter one time.
Okay, that might be why.
I'll talk about it to anybody who'll listen.
Yeah. So maybe I've just heard it from you then.
I think so. But it's
Is that the one I misspelled in the newsletter?
Maybe if you spelled it with
you
a
did,
U.
I think. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Yeah, so that's what you're going to watch.
Okay.
And we have it at the library.
So far, it doesn't sound like something I don't want to see so far. So that's good.
I don't know what you're gonna think about it, but it's kind of on that Clockwork Orange level where I want you to watch this before you die.
Right. Well, I mean, there's just sometimes you mention a movie and I'm like, oh, I have no desire to even put that in my DVD
because
player.
It's gonna happen.
I think you'll like the format.
I'm gonna die. Well, yes. Hopefully, before I'm too old.
Oh my God, no! Stop.
But anyway, in a non-threatening note.
We're going to watch movies.
We're going to watch movies next month or in a couple weeks. So we'll be back to talk about those.
So Napoleon Dynamite and Sorcerer is the next episode.
Yep.
So join us. This one's going to come out on the 1st of September. So then join us the 15th for
Sorcerer and Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. But until then, I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
And this has been The Real Opposites.
You get a detention slip.
Perfect.
Detention slip. How loose is your goose? Oh my God. Goose is totally loose. So come on, all you hog fans. Oh, Lord.